It's typically, I would say, Treeb for the friends, but I like to introduce myself as Treeb to people that I know I won't see very often again.
So you got an alias.
Not really like an alias, but like
selling someone drugs, and then you just go by Treeb.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll get the money, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And they don't know it's you.
It's
Treeb.
It's more so because I know that they're not going to get Trevin the first time.
They'll say Trevin, Evan.
Treven. You know. They never go Evan. They usually go Treven, Trayvon.
Yeah.
You know, they never get Trevin the first time, but I figure if you say Treeb, you know, they're going to get it. But now I'm running into the fact that people have never heard the name Treeb before. They've never heard Trevin before, so I mean, they still kind of go Treeb. But at least they say it right the first time, you know.
You know, apparently it's a more common name than you realize.
Treeb?
Trevin.
Oh, Trevin?
I've never met anyone else that's named Trevin, but you go online and I guess there's a few people with that name.
I've ran into a couple of Trevins in my lifetime. Not a lot. I graduated with one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I graduated with one, but he spelt his name ridiculous. He spelt it like he had millennial parents, but you know, we couldn't have had millennial parents because of our age, but he spelt it with a VYN.
VYN.
Which actually kind of is probably the best way to spell Trevin. I think that actually sounds like it. I think that gives people less room for error with the YN. At least that's what I think. Yeah. But welcome to another edition of Living Rent Free in My Head. This is episode number 5, and joined with us again is Mr. Tray is Raw, Tray. For anybody wondering, people also have a difficult name with his name, but mostly just the spelling. Trey, how you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, it's funny with my name, you know. You say Tray, Tray, so ashtray. I got that joke a lot.
Who called you ashtray?
Oh, you know, random people, when they say my name, they're like, Ash. And I'm like, I never heard that before. You're hilarious.
Really?
But, yeah.
Like at school people did, or is that more of a job course?
Nah, just like people online.
Oh.
Like playing video games and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's usually how it be. I feel like there's actually more white guys with the name Trey than you realize, too, that I've noticed.
I think Trey, the white Trey spelling, maybe not. I was going to say the white Trey spelling.
I think there's a little bit of both, honestly. Yeah.
I was going to say the white Trey spelling feels more like an AY than an EY, but then I'm thinking like Trey Wingo.
Trey Wingo. Trey Hendrickson.
That's an EY.
Yeah, so, that's another EY.
You know, it's definitely a name that diversifies.
Yeah.
But, you know, my name, I think Trevin in itself is a white name. But the spin-offs are all African-American versions.
True.
You know, like Trayvon, Treven, all of those. Yeah, exactly. Like, you couldn't see a white person rocking those names.
Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe it is more because, you know, you say Trevin, Tre, and then Ven, but you say Trayvon.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's 100%. Kind of feel like we're treading water a little bit with this direction. We might want to pull it back a little bit.
I don't know. I think this is. I don't think that this isn't like. I don't think it's that thin of a line. I think if we were talking about which race of Trey would win in a foot race, then that might be a line that we don't want to walk. But if we're just talking about which ethnicity holds the most Treys, I think that's a fair conversation.
I think so too. But yes, I am Trey. I'm back by popular demand. Yeah. I've had a lot of people. I bring a lot of viewers to this podcast.
You do?
So
it was my second most viewed podcast. Which we've had 5 episodes so far. And that's no small feat for me. We had 53 views on the last episode. But, mainly the reason I brought you here today is because I want to propose something, first and foremost, is that I want you to come back for every episode, or at least as many episodes as you can. I want you to be on this podcast So what I'm proposing is a podcast rebranding. So I want to rename the podcast, and I want you to come on to the show as much as you can, and I want to call it the TNT, Trey and Treeb podcast. What do you think about that?
I like the name. TNT, it's pretty self-explanatory. We come in, we're like dynamite.
I know, we're dynamites on the stick.
Always.
Yeah, so I mean...
So it just flows together. I was thinking another would be like the Double T, 2T podcast, but not TNT just fits together. So.
Double T sounds like we're we're reviewing boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even heard of a double T anyway.
But like, you see what I'm saying? That sounds like a bra size. I come in, I forget the cord to one of the mics, and Trey has the biggest grin on his face, and I think he's gonna tell me one of his famous jokes, but instead he just rips the fattest fart I've ever heard, and that's not true. That wasn't the fattest fart I've ever heard. You and Dad are some of the most savage farters I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, you just ripped a fart right before the podcast started and stunk up the whole joint. This isn't a big room, and you just clogged it with your stink.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, it's a big room.
It's not a big room. No, it's not a big room. This is like...
It's not big enough for me.
This is smaller than your bedroom.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Pretty similar.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna gas out me and you in this podcast studio with your treacherous gas.
Treacherous.
We're 10 minutes into this podcast and it's gone off the rails. But no, we're happy to have Trey on now as a staple member of the podcast. I like the name TNT, not only because we're dynamite on the mic, but that was our wrestling nickname back in the day that our dad gave us. And, I think Trey and Trevin, that just makes sense. So I like it. I'm glad that you're going to be on the show for the long haul.
Well, I guess it could also be the TP podcast.
See, you keep on wanting to like double T's. Like you had boobs on the mind and then TP.
We just have toilet paper in like the thumbnail, the toilet paper, but our initials are TP. So
then just see, that just opens the door for people to say then our podcast is shitty.
It is.
It is. But we want it.
That's our whole shtick.
We want it to be good. If our podcast was shitty, then we would just be doing what we did back in like the Hatchet Patriot days. Right. We would just be recording straight from the computer. But we have 2 microphones.
We're moving up in the world.
We have a fucking we have a 4K camera right now.
And an Acer laptop.
Okay, well that laptop has been there since the beginning.
It's a dinosaur.
It is a dinosaur, but it does what it needs to do. It does its job. It's like the Larry Fitzgerald of laptops.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time, but it's reliable for what it needs to do. And, I would already have given up on this because I should be getting a laptop from work, but no problems with it so far. You don't even have a computer. You bring nothing to the table. You bring nothing to the table. The only thing you've ever brought to the table on these podcasts is your good looks, your great charisma, and one time when we started doing these podcasts, you provided the mic, and then you got mad because I kept taking it.
All right, well, with all that being said, I did bring something to the table on this one, and I was looking for a transition on when I can bring that up.
Okay, what did you bring to the table this episode?
So I've wrote down some Ricky-isms. For the viewers out there that don't know what a Ricky-ism is, there's this character on Trailer Park Boys named Ricky. He lives in his car. And basically the running gag is that he'll have an expression, like bitten off more than you can chew. And he'll just mess it up completely. So I have a list of Ricky-isms that I want to read out to you, and then I want you, Treeb, to let me know which one you think is the best.
I already know what my favorite Ricky-ism is. I'm a big Trailer Park Boys guy.
The rocket appliance is one.
Is that one yours?
Yeah.
The Rocket. It's not
My
Rocket.
favorite.
It's not Rocket Appliances.
No, that is my favorite.
But isn't that what he says? It's not Rocket
Yeah,
Appliances.
that's what he says. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite one, and I use it on a daily basis probably. Is getting 2 birds stoned at once.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
Keep your friends close and your enemies toaster.
Yeah. It sounds like you just want to read off some Rickyisms. So what other ones you got?
All right. So, someone tried to contact me for some money, but it turns out it was an illegal period scheme. Do you get that one?
Yeah, but it's all in your delivery that makes it funny. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead with the next one.
All right. So when cops get your... okay, this is a good one. I don't know if I can say this one with a straight face. When cops get your prescription... when cops get your prescription, you're fucked.
When cops get your prescription, you're fucked.
Yeah, not description.
Oh, description. Oh, okay. when I put on Renee's glasses one time, and I seen I was able to see through them pretty good, and I said, "Oh, we have the same subscription."
Subscription.
Yeah, instead of prescription.
All right.
What else you got? You got more?
I think black widows are instinct, not extinct. Instinct. That was a pretty bad one. Yeah. Actually, that wasn't as good.
Yeah, work on it. Yeah. You delivered the other ones pretty good. Do another one. You got another one?
All right. It was a blessing in the sky. That was an okay one. Right?
That was an okay one. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. You got one more?
Okay. I don't know him from an atom. Do you get that one?
What was that one?
Because like when people say I don't know him from Adam, but I changed it. I don't know him from an atom. Yeah. Like an atom.
Did you do that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you did that one. That one was good.
These are all. Yeah.
Wait, so how many of these were in the show, and how many of these did you make up?
No, all of them. All of them are what I made up.
What? Really? Yeah. The toaster one was in the show, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that's what that. Yeah. But these ones are what I made. Really? This is what I brought to the show.
Oh, okay. So you made up all these. Okay. Shit, I didn't even know. I thought these were all Trailer Park Boys. All right. Okay, what else you got?
Well, this one's not too good. Jealous ones are heavy. That's all right.
What was that one?
Jealous ones envy. Oh, jealous ones are heavy.
Yeah, you gotta deliver. You gotta deliver it. Yeah, you gotta deliver it better. Like you.
All right. So the last one I think is pretty good, but this one, victory pat. Get it? Victory lap. Victory pat.
You kind of fell off towards the end, but the beginning was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, the beginning was good.
I'm gonna bring it home with the last one.
Oh, I thought that was the last one. Go ahead.
It's like a divine intersection. Divine intervention. Divine intersection.
And that was some Trayisms.
Yeah.
That was good, dude. That was good writing. Yeah. That was hilarious.
I'll try to come up with more next week.
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah.
You should. You gotta. I don't know.
Let us know in the comments which one was your favorite. I think the illegal period scheme was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Can you read back like the first couple again?
Yeah.
Read back the first. You should have at the beginning. You should have said that you wrote these down. Like these were Trayisms and not the Rickyisms.
Got you. So these are the Trayisms. Illegal period scheme. Okay. So the second one. Is a Rickyism. I didn't create this one.
Maybe that's
but I just thought it was funny. When cops get your prescription, you're fucked. And then the rest of them are all mine. Black widows are instinct, not extinct.
That sounds like something Ricky would actually say. Yeah. And that's really good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I don't know him from an atom.
That was also good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Jealous ones are heavy. Not really.
Cut that one.
And then Divine Intersection.
That one was good.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was good writing,
Yeah.
dude. That was awesome. Yeah, bring it back. Let us know down below what your favorite Trayism was, and if he should bring these back as a common occurrence.
Yeah.
That was good too. That's a clip.
Yeah.
That's a clip.
clip.
What do you think about those clips I've been putting out?
They're doing good. You know, obviously you got the whole Capcom thing going.
It's CapCut.
Yeah, CapCut. But yeah, you know, I also do the clips with my other podcast, and it's interesting because, you know, I would think that people would be more interested in watching the whole thing. Like, for example, if there's an interview that I want to watch, I always just will watch the full thing. But I guess what really gets people is like the little shorts and TikToks and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I think what the thing is like if you're scrolling Instagram or whatever,
Right,
TikTok,
right.
what have you, is that you find the clip and then you go to the full length podcast to watch the whole thing. I think it's kind of like a highlight clips, highlight videos,
Right.
that kind of make you want to watch the whole podcast. People have short attention spans, man. So, not everybody's going to watch the whole thing, but there are some clippable moments, and there's clippable moments from this show for sure. I mean, your Job Corps stories fucking were great last time.
Yeah. So, and I gotta ask you because you kind of work in the field, so to speak. So what strategies would you say? Like, say if a company approached you and said, Treeb, we're gonna pay you. We have this company. We want to get it popular on social media. We want to get eyes on it. How would you approach that? And this could be another clip on how to get their business more clicks and more views and etc.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm still trying to figure that out for myself, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm restarting a adventure here. Like, you know how I started my YouTube grind and in like 2018 or whatever, and that was like foreign to me, and I didn't know anything about it, and then I kind of started that from the ground up and figured all that out and yada yada yada. This kind of feels like a new era of me and a new grind that I had to figure out.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, but it's all so new and it's all so different that like I'm in the learning phases of this part of my career and of my journey. So it's like I'm far from an expert. Like I'm still gonna take lumps, I'm still gonna take bruises. I mean, like literally my first podcast that I released for this, I mean my first two, my audio didn't even match my lips. So I mean like
You came a long way.
yeah, I mean just 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean it's cool. I think that right now I'm just enjoying the grind. So if there's a company that was paying me, and there is a company, I guess technically right now that's paying me to do it, but the newspaper that I work at, obviously the Tribune, is still like they're also like really kind of starting from ground zero as far as like social media, podcast content, all of this. Like I mean they didn't do any of that. So I mean like this is foreign to them. This is pretty foreign to me. I have a little bit of knowledge about it, so it's all just it's a journey. I know it was a long-winded answer to what you said, but that's where I'm at.
Well, yeah, and I think it's interesting, when you were doing the Jaguars content, because at the end of the day, like if you really wanted to, you can grow it. And I don't want to say that doing that takes no skill or whatever, but essentially what you're doing is that you're reading the news and then you're reporting.
Yeah.
And from the Jaguars aspect, especially back then, I can't imagine there was a whole lot of, direct to the source news. So people in turn can come to you and you would just keep on top of the news. And it's like opposed to what we're doing now. And I think I'm the same way. It's like I like to be creative in some kinds. So it's like doing the news, even though it's, easy. I mean, it's still a grind, but it's more easy versus, trying to do something creative. And then in 5 years, you can look back at it and say, yeah, I made that. Like in 5 years, you're not gonna go back to a video in 2013 and say, "Oh, fuck it, Drake Greenlaw," or I don't even know why that's the first NFL
I also
player.
don't know why you said
Drake Greenlaw got cut in 2012. No one's gonna remember that.
I also don't know why you said a video 5 years ago in 2013. That was
Right.
more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's why
More.
your math was way off on that.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Regardless,
yeah.
You're 100% right because and I know you're right because I went through my YouTube and deleted all my Jag stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's how just like how just it was just relevant at the time that Jags stuff was.
Absolutely.
Because like nobody cared exactly like your Dre Greenlaw thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about going back and looking at the Jags signing Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. I think your one of your most popular videos was the AAF.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one cares. Yeah, no one cares about that anymore.
Yeah, unless like some huge YouTuber like I don't know like a Flemlo Raps makes makes a video about
what happened to
Exactly.
and you could be featured.
Yeah, or like people just happen to like look up AAF and like my video is probably going to be one of them. That would happen sometimes, like when Caden Ellis would sign a different contract. People would find my Caden Ellis video. But no, you're right, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing, and it's been like that ever since I took this new job. Because when I was a sports writer and when I was doing Jag stuff, I was so in that world, and I think I did, and I don't think that this is necessarily true, but I think I did everything that I wanted to do in that field. Like, I think I probably could have gotten a bigger boy writing job somewhere and have covered like maybe a bigger college or a professional team, maybe even. I probably could have, but that grind is so demanding and you're doing it every day. And it's like at the end of the day when you have like 15,000 stories or whatever, you're not going to remember writing those. So taking this job and having an opportunity to give the Tribune a digital identity and to give myself, freedom to build my own podcast and to create something with my brother, which is you, it's pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting. We got kind of sidetracked with a lot of these topics, but I think that's a good thing because you want to keep things conversational. But one thing that I do want to hit on, we mentioned that we're brothers and we're growing this thing together. We should take a moment of silence to dedicate this episode to our fallen family dog, Chica. Just kidding, because Chica never shut up, so we're not going to take a moment of silence for Chica, but we will remember her. Chica was a fat dog. She was north of 20 pounds, and she had a fiery rage inside of her, and she did not care for a lot of people. She hated me a lot, was not a big Treeb fan, but the two people she did like were my dad and Trey. And
no, she didn't like me at all.
Well, you liked her.
I liked her, but she was not. She was not too fond of me.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good Trayism. She wasn't too fond of me.
Yeah, not too found of me.
No, it's fond.
Fond. Yeah.
Not too fond.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Chica passes away. Do you wanna touch on the old Cheekster?
She was, like I said before, she was like a sister to me. I have a lot of good memories. I probably have to think about some, but it's just like one of those things to where like, yeah, she can be annoying, but she's always upbeat, always barking, and has a very loud personality. No matter, yeah, it might get annoying, but then all of a sudden, she's not that way. and then you can't help but feel bad about that. So
Yeah, no, Chica was she was kind of a legend of the Pixley household. She was a staple. I can't think of a favorite memory of Chica right off the bat, but I do know one of my favorite things about her when I lived at my parents' house was that anytime you would get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, she would just be laying like she was dead on the bath mat in the bathroom. And she had these tiny little dog legs, but a huge, like, hot dog van sized body. And she was a goofy looking dog. But do you have any favorite Chica memories?
and if you don't know, you do. If Treeb's waking up in the morning to go pee or whatever, you do not want to stand in his way.
No.
That is complete facts. I always remember whenever you would get up and you'd always do a little sigh. You'd be like, and then you just keep walking to go to the bathroom.
I get pissed, yeah. I still do to this day. I wake up some mornings to Renee Snapchat me like, did I piss you off this morning? And like I don't even remember it, you know, because I guess I say something like, you dumb bitch, get out of my way.
Holy crap!
I'm kidding. I don't say that.
I was gonna say.
I don't actually say that, but I still do the sigh thing. Yeah. And another thing she called me out for was we were, you know, I won't get too into it, whatever, but we got into a little fight, and I rolled my eyes, and she's like, I hate it when you do that, and I'm like, I didn't mean to, but you know, but dude, I've always done that. I've always been an eye roller.
Like at a certain point, it's just instinct.
Yeah.
Not extinct instinct. That was another one.
It's just instinct to roll my eyes and shit. But do you have any moments from Chica that stand out to you as favorite moments with her?
Well, you know, if I had to pick one of the most memorable moments, I would say is when we took her to play disc golf that one time.
That was a good one.
You know, she was holding up pretty good for like the first, hour. And then it got to a certain point where you could tell she was dead, and Dad had to carry her around the whole time.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, she would always bite me, and, you never knew when it was coming. So even to this day, whenever I walk into the living room, I'm always cautious. Like, where's she at? I know she's just ducking around the corner, ready to come get me.
Well, and she ruined, like, a good amount of your pants, didn't she?
Yeah. Which, and for those of you that don't know, which is literally everybody, pants that are good, and I don't know if you have this problem, but pants that actually fit well, that I like, that don't fall off easily, that fits like a glove, are hard to come by for me.
Yeah, because you got all that ass.
So whenever they get ripped, I'm, upset about it. So, yeah.
What's the most upset you've ever been in your whole life? Pissed.
Well, I will say, Treeb, that you have a knack, and I don't know if anyone else has ever called you out on this or told you. When you want to just go for somebody's throat, when you just want to insult somebody, and it's not even like how comedians do it, like, oh, that was kind of messed up, but it was funny. You, on the other hand, it's like you have a knack for knowing how to get under somebody's skin and, like, just go after their throat or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
when
sorry.
You're upset, and it's just crazy. And I mean, I got to the point now where, like, I know you, and it's like, whatever, I just let it roll off my back.
Yeah, you just got to know me. We were just acquaintances back in the day.
I'm just saying, over the years. But, yeah.
Is there one of those times that stick out where I really pissed you off?
I mean, it's like, it's hard to, like, whenever you have these questions, it's like, because I don't have, like, a distinct... honestly, I would still probably say, and I've talked to you about this before, but, like, you would just wrestle me for no reason, and I would hate that. Like, you just get me in holds. And it's like,
so
I don't know if you've been in wrestling holds, and you know how much they they're not fun. So
So yeah, I was not. I would say, and this probably doesn't sound good coming from me. So maybe Trey can say it if he actually wants to. But I was a little shithead back in the day, and I do think I've gotten a little bit better. But I was a wrestler in high school, and I would get put in the moves, and sometimes I'd get my ass kicked. So then I would come home, and then I would put Trey, who was not a wrestler at all. He was just a Madden guy. And then I would come in and put him in an inside cradle. And he would get pissed off, but he couldn't do anything because he was in an inside cradle. So, I will apologize for that. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good at the end of the day. And I mean, wrestling is important. Because I feel like when you have like a basic, you don't have to be like, Brock Lesnar. Or like a D1 wrestler. But I mean, like, if you pick up wrestling, that's like the best thing you can have for like self-defense, I think. Yeah.
That and jiu-jitsu probably.
Yeah.
Probably need a little hand-to-hand combat too.
Yeah.
Just like any kind of mixed martial arts. If you kind of just took like a mixed martial art class for like a couple months, you'd probably be good to go in any kind of, well, like not like any street fight, but you at least know how to defend yourself.
Well, I think, and then with like the whole like striking aspect of it, I think that just comes down to if you have bricks in your hands or you don't. Like some people carry bricks in their hands and other people don't.
What, you think people just have bricks with them at the bar?
It's a figure of speech.
Oh, like they got heavy hands. Okay.
I think the proper term is lightning in their fist.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like some people have the Mike Tyson knockout power, and other people don't.
Gotcha. I thought you were. Okay.
But I think, of course, there's like different skill levels, but I think anybody can get somebody down and put them into a hold and all that. So yeah.
Just make sure that the guy you're fighting doesn't have a backpack, because there might be some fucking pricks in there. A fat animal who is old and still living, not to shit on Chica or anything, is Noodle, and her birthday just passed. We've had Noodle in the house for 1 year. Have you met Noodle?
I did. I'm pretty sure I came over and saw her. I think we went to your house to pick up something, and she was there and said hello.
She's the best. She's the best cat I've ever had. It's and I know, like, especially after this Chica stuff, like when she dies, it's gonna kill me. But like, it's cool to have like a pet of your own. This is like the first pet that's like yours, mine.
Raised.
Well, we got her when she was 9, so like she was already old. But like when I come home, she's like excited to see me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that broke me, is especially from my dad. I mean, like I would come home and she wouldn't even look at me twice. She'd be like, okay, whatever. Whenever Dad would come home, she was ready to see him. And I can imagine after having that for such a long time, and then you come home and they're not there anymore. I mean, that'd be tough.
I felt for Dad, like, hard, because I know, like, even just having Noodle for a short period, like, and like we lost Walter too, who was like Renee's childhood cat that lived with us for a while, and he was old. He was 21, old cat, but he was sick. He was awesome, and he died, and that sucked. But yeah, no, Dad, that sucks for him. I think one of the funniest things that happened, well, and it's not funny, but like one of the funnier things that happened during this whole thing was when we went out to eat, and Dad said, I just don't know who I'm gonna talk to during my hard days.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Mom's like, what about me? She's like, I'm still here, But nah, rest in peace, Chica. That was my dad's best friend. Dogs are truly man's best friend.
They truly are.
Even if they're just short, stocky, fat chihuahuas,
Still nonetheless.
Still a man's best friend. Your birthday's coming up. I think. I don't know what day of the week it is. Is it Saturday?
Monday.
Is it Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time this podcast goes up, and your birthday will be in a couple of days. This podcast should be going up Saturday. So, we're going to a hockey game, the Spokane Chiefs, for your birthday. A little minor league, I think, hockey team. Why are we doing that? When did you all of a sudden want to go to a hockey game?
It's something to do, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
Kind of random, I feel like.
Well, I mean, like, what else is there to do?
I mean, I guess so. What what made you come to that conclusion?
There wasn't much else to do.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't go to bars. Like, I don't, go. And I wanted to, like, go golf, but from what I could tell, it's going to be raining that day. So.
I wonder what else are we going to do? What else is on your agenda?
Well, I did find a spot.
To golf or what?
Play mini golf, but it's inside.
Oh, okay.
So, probably check that out. And I'm probably thinking I want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings,
nice.
If you're okay with that.
Go to B-dubs?
Yeah.
Oh, this is your day. That's your day. I was going to say there's a Kill Tony guy's going to be at the Spokane Comedy Club. Yeah. But that's at like 9 o'clock. So then we'd be home at like 2 a.m. So that wouldn't make much sense. But that is what we're going to be doing for Trey's birthday. Something else that I want to talk about. I feel like we always kind of get into the topic of music during this podcast. There's a new rapper that I found that I like, and he gives me, he makes me feel like, I don't know, he gets me excited for music again. Like, you remember when I found Hobson?
Oh yeah.
And like, that kind of like, he was my guy, and I found him, and it was like, this is fucking life-changing.
Yeah.
This is kind of how I feel about this guy. His name is Diggy Graves.
Diggy Graves.
And he's got a Hollywood Undead / like ICP sound to him. And he's a talented fella. And what I suggest for this part of the podcast is that I play part of his song for you, and I'll mute it during this part of the podcast. But
copyright.
Yeah, we'll film some kind of, we'll keep the reaction part of it, so it'll be kind of funny. So like we'll do some like, just react to what the song sounds like.
If I'm like saying, "Oh man," like, no, I'm not crazy. I'm actually listening to something.
Yeah, so let me see. Can I see your phone real quick? Or can you can just look it up. Yeah. Look up Diggy Graves Gwim Reaper. Yeah, just play it. Be afraid to show your authentic reaction. This did not plan out how I thought. You're not even jamming at all to this. So that bit, too, you probably saw me dancing Trey fucking straight-faced. I thought he was gonna vibe with that, but you had no intentions of doing so.
Not really feeling the flow.
Really?
Kind of it, yeah. It's not really my cup of tea, I'd say.
Try Saline County, just for fun. If anything this podcast is gonna be, it's me putting Trey on to Diggy Graves. What do you think of that one?
See that one, I feel like he rode the beat a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think he came with a little bit more attitude, a little bit more charisma.
Yeah.
He had a little bit more of that fire in his voice.
I just like how he rhymes, because he's like, in the middle of a riddle, in the piddle skittle. Like, I fucking like it. He gives me, because he's just a white guy that wears a mask, and he just raps like
Right.
Suicide Boys too. Did you ever get into Suicide Boys?
Couldn't name you one thing about him.
They're all right. Renee likes them. They're pretty good. But no, I've been into I've been getting into Diggy Graves a lot. And like I said, he reminds me a lot of ICP and Hollywood Undead. And you know something that I always thought was funny was like mom used to brag to kids in her like class all the time about her knowledge of rap music. And she'd be like, I know Hobson, Tech Nine, ICP, and things like that. And then all these kids would be like, "Oh, you're so cool, that's awesome." But like, she taught special ed, so like, so like, so like, I think that says more about us and our taste in music than it does.
They say, "Oh, I know who Hobson is," and then it'd be like, "You want me to hop in where?"
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, mom would always say, "Oh, you know, I told all my kids I know Hobson, and they thought I was so cool." I'm like, Mom, these kids eat crayons. You know, and then I really had to check myself and the music that I was listening to. But
yeah, exactly.
But if you go to a Tech Nine concert, it is one of the worst smelling events you'll ever go to.
Right.
Yeah, it smells like BO had a Tech Nine concert.
Mixed with some weed.
Yeah, not good weed either.
Yeah.
Like Reggie, not good weed. What's the speaking of that? What's your favorite concert you ever been to?
I'd probably have to say the Hobson concert. You know, if we're just going the whole thing wrapped into one.
Yeah.
You get off of school. I remember that day. You know, I got off of school, excited to go. It was a Friday. I'm pretty sure it was a weekend.
Yeah.
So that's always a good. I feel like it's rare to have a concert on like a weekend. I don't know why that is. I feel like that's like a rare occurrence.
That is true. The concert that I'm going to in June is on like a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that is true.
But
I would agree with you. I think Hobson's up there. I think Hobson, just for like where I was in my fandom of him.
Yeah.
Like, because I loved Hobson at that time. And the way that Dad gave us those tickets, like the step-by-step Christmas present.
I think he still has that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed me. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have Dad send me the video. I'll put it in right here.
Yeah.
But maybe not. But anyway, yeah. So we got those tickets, and we were really into Hobson at the time. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the biggest reason why I would say that. It was also so sick. Like Dizzy Wright stage dived, and it was like next to us. And my other one that I would say that's probably second is Post Malone, because it was kind of the same thing. And I saved up a lot of money for that concert, and I was making like $8 an hour. So like,
you're like, it better be good, Posty.
Yeah, and 21 Savage was there too.
Let me down, Posty.
Yeah, I'm seeing him again, so that's gonna be awesome. What's the worst concert you ever been to? Have they all been good?
You know, I don't really know if I've had a concert that was like. Nah, I will say for the most part, I think a lot of them. There's not a whole lot of standouts. I feel like one way or another.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think there's been a concert where I'm like, oh my god, that was the best thing that's ever happened. But at the same time, there hasn't been a concert where I'm like, oh my god, that sucked. Like, I regret ever going to it. It's like, and then plus, it's like, you know, it's underground rap. Like it's not like, with all due respect to that genre, but it's not like Michael Jackson in his prime. We're going to go see, where it's like a life-changing experience. Like,
yeah, but you also
I'm too far away from the microphone. Feel like
that's a good call.
Realization.
Yeah, good call. You did see T.I. though.
Yeah, I saw T.I. I did see Joyner Lucas.
He was
before he did the Eminem collab. In fact, he and it was weird. I don't know why he did this. He didn't do a stage dive, but like he was like just walking around the crowd. And I'm like, someone could have just like, anyone in the crowd could just like do that. And that's one of the things that I was thinking about. It's like, you're taking a risk doing that.
You should have done it just to teach him a lesson.
He didn't even have any security guys with him or nothing. I'm like,
that's crazy.
He walked right by me too.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably out of everybody that's listening to this podcast, I've been closer to Jordan Lucas than all of you.
But in that T.I. and Jordan Lucas concerts, this is something that I wanted to talk about during the last podcast, but time kind of got away from us. You went to those concerts all by yourself.
Well, the T.I. one, I went to the concert by myself, but mom and dad were with me.
Oh, okay. But
They went to it, but yeah, but the Jordan Lucas one, that was 100% solo dolo.
Yeah, so you went to Jordan Lucas by yourself, and you also went to Las Vegas by yourself.
Right.
I think that's awesome because people on TikTok talk about getting anxiety for like going to a movie by themselves, and you took like a fucking Greyhound bus all by yourself from like Lewiston to fucking Vegas.
See.
Well, didn't you?
I took the airplane to Vegas.
Okay, I thought you.
I would, if I took a Greyhound to Vegas, I'd still be in that Greyhound to this day.
Well, see, that's what I thought. I thought you took a Greyhound to Vegas too.
I took the Greyhound from that one was actually not too bad. The Greyhound from Lewiston to Seattle, I could say honestly, was not too bad. It was pretty smooth.
Yeah. But that's when I like you see all these people that say they have like social anxiety and stuff and that they can't like even order food by themselves, and you look at social anxiety in the face and you say fuck you.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty neat. Do you ever think about that at all? Because you're not the most social guy in the world, but you don't really get social anxiety at all, do you?
No, not really.
Like, you don't care that you went by yourself to do this. You kind of like doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah, and I guess there's a certain aspect of it to where I'm like it's the adrenaline rush of thinking I don't know what's gonna happen, and kind of liking that, kind of the fear of the unknown. I think that's a big thing people need to get over, because if you don't, you'll be stuck in your hometown for the rest of your life. So
Well, you're still at your hometown.
Yeah, I know, but not for long.
Where are you going?
Going back home to Italy. I'm gonna be part of Trump's mass deportations.
Well,
That's what people don't know. I was born in Italy initially. That's what.
you were born in Italy initially. The second half. The second time you were born. Where were you there?
I don't. See, that's the thing. I don't even. That one wasn't even planned. I just said that without thinking about it. I don't know why I said initially.
That's still funny though.
Yeah.
But what do you remember from it? Well, I think it's funny too. I want to go back to the solo trip thing. You took a solo trip to Vegas.
Right.
What was why did you do that? Just for fun?
Well, it was a situation where I was working 70-hour weeks.
Yeah.
And got to the point where I accumulated a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And what I should have done is try to figure out a better way to do that rather than just go to Vegas. But it was just like one of those things to where, like, if I ever had a lot of money, if I ever had, a lot of money, then that would be something that I would want to do.
Well, you didn't even really do like a lot of fun Vegas things, really. You played the Buffalo machine, and you could have played that here at our home casino.
So I guess in that aspect of it, maybe I do have some social anxiety. When it comes to like doing things a little bit outside my comfort zone. And then for some people say, oh, you went to Vegas by yourself. That would be outside my comfort zone. Well, my comfort zone's a little bit different, I guess, but...
Well, that is outside your comfort zone, which is still cool that you did that. Like, I mean, I wouldn't think teenage Trey would go to Vegas by himself, or really go anywhere by himself.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time. I played the Buffalo Machine and some other games, and wanted to go to a strip club, but there was nowhere to go on Fremont.
There was nowhere to go. There's no way there was no strip clubs.
Not in where I was staying at.
Well, if you had like that much money that you could have blown,
No.
you could have taken.
So
Like,
it's probably a good thing I did go to one then. Probably.
it is for
Yeah,
sure. What does scare you?
Um,
The biggest fear.
honestly, probably just becoming homeless.
That's never gonna happen.
I mean, it could happen, but
Not in your, I don't see a world in your situation where you'd become homeless, which is a good thing.
yeah.
But I can see why does that scare you? Why is that your biggest fear? I feel like that's one of the irrational fears.
Well, I would say probably dying is another one.
You're afraid of dying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about that quite a bit.
Do you think about dying quite a
Yeah.
bit? Like in what sense?
Because you don't know what's gonna happen after.
Yeah, so
I feel like you get the older you get, the more you kind of think about it more.
So you think about dying a lot, or like how you're gonna die?
Yeah, like it's like the whole not knowing aspect of it.
If you could have your ideal way, well, I guess other than old age, I guess old age is probably the way everybody would want to go. Is there any other ideal way that you'd want to die?
I haven't really thought about it like that. Is there really a good way to go out, you know?
No, I don't think so. I always kind of thought drowning wouldn't be that bad. Like if I like I'm just
Drowning isn't that bad.
well, but like I mean, if we're talking about like ways of dying,
How Treeb dies, he gets a swirly. and then in the afterlife. So how was it? It wasn't that bad.
yeah. So dying scares you. I guess I didn't know that you were so afraid of dying. I guess I'm not really afraid of dying. I don't think. Do you have any other do you have any like day-to-day fears?
Day-to-day fears. I wouldn't say fears. I just think, you know, if I'm like expecting something to happen and it doesn't happen, kind of anxiety kind of goes up because it doesn't go according to plan. But I mean, that's just life. I mean, if something doesn't happen the way that you expect it to, or you know, it wasn't intended, you just gotta adapt and adjust to it, and you know, just keep it moving. So
You've always kind of had a healthy way of looking at it like that. I remember you used to be, and I used to be, really afraid of spiders.
yeah,
You remember that? I'm not really afraid of spiders anymore. I can kill a spider with my bare hands if I want to.
I think it's like one of those things to where like once you realize how easy they are to kill or whatever. Now I think when you start getting into like huntsman spiders, I would never go to Australia.
No.
I would never go to Australia. See a spider literally the size of your face. Like F that, I'm out. F that.
And kangaroos even kind of trip me up.
Really? I didn't know that.
Dude, kangaroos will fuck you up.
Well, and that's the thing. People always say, "Oh, well, like huntsman spiders, they're not dangerous, they're not toxic." It's like I don't care if they cure cancer when they bite you. like I don't want to be around them.
No, well, and even like house spiders that are just big, I still get creeped out by the way they move.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
But I think that the wildest thing is like mom used to just keep spiders, like huge spiders she used to find in Tupperware containers and pickle jars. And they would have like babies in pickle jars and Tupperware containers. Like, that's kind of psychopathic. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, or she was thinking that she was going to start a career in science, like researching spiders, how they behave. You remember that one video?
I'm sure that's exactly what mom was thinking. She was gonna fucking switch her job as a part-time duty at elementary school to go in the field of studying how spiders go about their day-to-day business.
She had bigger aspirations.
Yeah.
Do you see that one video of spiders on drugs?
Are you shitting me? Yes, of course. That was like one of
the OG.
I think that's probably one of the first YouTube videos I remember watching.
Yeah.
Spiders on drugs. That's a funny video. That's so funny. Maybe she wanted to fucking change her career path.
Yeah.
You don't fucking know. I guess I don't.
I mean, what other reason would someone do that?
I don't know, Mom. I like how you gave her that. That's such a big leap. You
Yeah.
gave her such a huge benefit of the doubt. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. Any other life stuff that you want to hit on? I'm gonna start going on like a little bit of a rant about some football stuff here in a second. If you don't have any more life stuff,
More life stuff.
life or day-to-day conversation stuff.
No, not really. I mean, not much has changed. Just, keep grinding life and all that.
Any more Trayisms or any questions for Treeb?
I will have more Trayisms next week. I'll try to think of some. Sometimes they just come to me naturally.
That's who you are.
And then other times I'll actually put some thought into it. Yeah. I feel like the best ones are ones where I'm not even thinking about it. And then I'll just have it pop in my head. And then Rob Wells is going to steal one of them.
Somebody who needs to put more thought into just everything he's doing is James Gladstone, new general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trent Baalke is no longer there. No.
But I mean, he might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I have gotten into many arguments on Jags Twitter this past week because Jags fans are so good at being delusional and putting their, I don't know what the saying is, rose-colored glasses on. To whatever situation the Jags are in or handed, they are just willing to admit that that's the best situation. This was a 4-win ball club last year. A team that was the 5th, 4th, whatever draft pick they have, worst in the NFL, and they've been in the fucking basement for decades. They didn't get a single splash player in free agency, and the only players that they got are only good enough to be backups on starters that were on a team that won 4 fucking games last year. This free agency was a mess. Trevor Lawrence has arguably now the worst targets that he's ever had in his entire career. They brought in one wide receiver and arguably the worst wide receiver room in the National Football League. You know who that was? Denami Brown. Denami Brown, I don't even know if I'm saying his first name right because that's how irrelevant he has been his entire NFL career. He has had a career high of 300 yards. Your wide receiver, too, that you're putting so much faith and effort into is Gabe fucking Davis. And Gabe fucking Davis sucks fucking ass. This whole wide receiver core is very bad outside of Brian Thomas Jr. There's also rumors that the Jags are going to be trading away Travis Etienne. If they trade away Travis Etienne, who has had 1,400 yards from scrimmage 2 years in a row, people forget how good he actually is. The Jags will be left with Tank Bigsby, who is a third down running back at best. James Gladstone claims he's going to build through the draft. That's what every general manager will say because that is where they leave their stamp. That's where they leave their mark. But you can't rely and you can't ask these rookies to come in day one and produce and to make a 4-win ball club better. Will they maybe win 5-6 games next year? Sure, but that's their fucking ceiling, Trey.
All right, and that Treeb talk rant. That was a pretty solid rant.
I've been thinking about it.
And it's funny how you say that the Jacksonville Jaguars fans are happy-go-lucky, even though they aren't that good. And for the Patriots side of things, I think it's the complete opposite. I think that the Patriots fans are kind of bitches and crybabies versus how your fans are too happy when someone's just blatantly crapping on them.
Yeah.
So it's
and I'll let you get into some Patriots talk if you want to, but just, another quick thing. This is just, it's not going to turn around. And everybody says Rome wasn't built in a day. I would assume fucking Rome was built in 30 years at least.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't built in 30 years, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they'd make a dent, or they would at least have some sort of plan. The Jags have been fucking fodder for 30 years, and they haven't done anything. And this is a continuation of that. They haven't brought in any difference maker. There's nobody that they have signed in free agency that is going to make a difference. There is nobody in the draft this year that is going to come in and completely change the fortune of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just not going to happen. And they say, oh, well, they might improve. Oh, they might win 6 games. Who fucking cares about that? That means you're going to have to sit through another football calendar year and fucking suffer through the Jags fucking another losing season. And I don't want to do that. Like, make a move. Try to be relevant. And they haven't done that, and I think this is going to be another one of these situations where it just blows up in their face, and it's not going to be good.
All right, so Treeb is now the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are you doing the first day of free agency? Who are you going after?
Cooper Kupp. I would have brought in Cooper Kupp already, or DK Metcalf. I would have brought in somebody that would be a franchise guy, or it'd be somebody that would So okay, here's what I like to think of. When you put the C's on the chest of your captains, these are players that people in the NFL should know. And these are people in the NFL that should deserve that C patch that you put on their chest.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be some 63 overall bronze player from fucking Madden.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
These should be respected players in the league. They don't have that. It's shit in the bed. How are the Patriots doing, and are you happy about that after my Jags rant that I really wanted to get out here?
Yeah, I really do like the Mike Vrabel signing. I mean, the whole departure of Gerard Mayo, I can't help but think is kind of shady. Has some shadiness. I can't help but think Robert Kraft probably wanted to hire Vrabel to begin with, but couldn't. So he kind of hired Gerard Mayo, and then I kind of think even if he would have had a good season, Vrabel would probably still be here. But with all that being said, I'm happy that Vrabel is here. And even when he was with Tennessee, he didn't even have nothing bad, not a bad season. So really, you're getting the best coach of the crop. And I know the whole NFL is moving toward the more offensive masterminds like the Ben Johnsons, the Liam Cohens, the Sean McVay, that kind of tree. But to me, I think what this team needs when you have a young quarterback who's shown flashes, I'm not ready to say that he's going to be that guy, but I've seen enough for him from 1 year to be like, he's shown enough flashes for me to go, okay, if we can build around him, I'm pretty confident to see what he could become in the future. And so I think when you have a team like that in that situation, I think what you need is a coach that's kind of been there and that knows how to establish culture, knows how to control the locker room, and just a program builder, not necessarily the best X's and O's guy. And we got Josh McDaniels back. And McDaniels, hopefully he'll have a good year and then he'll go tear apart another poor organization like he did with the Raiders. I still feel bad for what Derek Carr had to go through with Josh McDaniels, but as an offensive coordinator, I don't think anyone can say that he isn't a very great offensive coordinator. I mean, I know he had Tom Brady, but, Josh McDaniels is well respected as an offensive coordinator. And I agree with what Treeb said about the draft. Outside of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, there's everyone else you can kind of group into the same kind of bucket. Like the wide receiver from Arizona, Ted McMillan, I'm not really too sold on him.
Really? I like him.
He didn't run at the combine. And that to me shows that he didn't want to run because he knows he's not going to be too quick. But that being said, he is my type of receiver. I like the strong DK Metcalf, big physical receivers who will go up there and make contested catches that'll put their nuts on your chin when they go up and catch it. That's kind of my type of receiver. But I'm not really too sold of it. I do like the tight end from Penn State, Tyler Warren, who beat Boise State in the playoffs. I do like him. And even though people are saying that, Will Campbell from LSU, he's not a left tackle because he has short arms. But to me, like, is it that big of a difference? You know, they say 33-inch arm, 34-inch arms. And, you know, another free agency we're looking to get is one of your former guys, Cam Robinson, who used to play for you guys. We're looking to sign him.
He's all right, but he's the big thing about him is he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Like he'll fight for your team, for his team.
Yeah.
Like that's the best thing about him is he's got an edge.
Got an edge to him.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him.
Yeah, we were trying to get the big signing that we swung and missed on was Ronnie Stanley. He re-signed with Baltimore. He was the other guy, but our two big needs right now is wide receiver and left tackle. And through free agency, we've made some pretty good splashes. We signed Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
And we have another guy who's very underrated, Christian Gonzalez, who, in my opinion, is one of the best cornerbacks in the league already. He had an injury last year that took out most of his rookie campaign, but he came back his sophomore year and just played at a Pro Bowl level. So you got another corner to build on that. And also we released, and I want to give props to two veteran guys, two Super Bowl champions, David Andrews, who the Patriots just released, was playing with Tom Brady, was an awesome locker room guy, awesome with the media and everything. So he's gone. I don't know if he's going to sign with everybody else, but, you know, happy to see him and sad to see him go. And also Jonathan Jones, who also won a Super Bowl, has been with the team for a while. Really good guy. We released him. He's going to play with the Commanders as well as Jacoby Brissett. Left. Well, Jacoby Brissett left to go play with the Cardinals, actually.
Jacoby Brissett's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
Well, at least been a backup forever, it feels like. But, I mean, we can go on and on about the football talk. I think that makes a good clip. I think that'll be a good little, maybe side episode.
Yeah, good little side tangent, but this draft class I'm not really feeling too good, and we're still about 6 weeks away, so we'll see what something changes. Like where I'm at now is I'm just hoping to God Travis Hunter falls to number 4. If Travis Hunter falls to number 4, I'm literally going to be pants off. My pants are going to be off if he gets to number 4. But if he I'm probably thinking he gets out of 4, and I think at that point you just have to trade out of it, accumulate more picks, do whatever you got to do, because
You're always talking about taking your pants off in this podcast.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, Trey, I think we're gonna have to call it there. We've been talking for probably an hour and a half at this point.
Yeah, so. Time flies when you're having fun.
I think so.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys tune in to the next episode of the TNT Trey and Treeb podcast.
Yeah.
Really trying to grow this thing. Trying to get better at producing it at a quicker rate. Figured out that the last episode that we put together, I could have had the right audio there the whole time. I just didn't edit it right. So we'll know for this episode.
We'll know for next time. Yeah.
So that's good. If you can drop a like down below and comment your favorite Trayism, that will support us and help us a lot. If you just want to listen to the audio version of this podcast, it's available anywhere that you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tune in to the West Coast podcast with Mr. Trey is Raw and Shane Got You 11.
Yes, sir.
When does that come out again, Trey?
So every other Friday at 10:30 p.m. So it won't be this Friday, but the following Friday at 10:30 p.m.
And you guys do that live, right?
Yeah, it's all live.
It's all live. You got Trey raw and uncut. I have to filter. You don't even know how much I had to cut out of this podcast from Trey.
Yeah.
He had to go. He was going off about his stance on Palestine and Ukraine. He was. I couldn't get him to shut up, and I'm like, Trey, we're talking about freaking Hobson right now. What does Hobson have to do with Ukraine?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
What does Joe Rogan have to do with Treeb?
Yeah, I know. Me and you both got onto different tangents. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, that's it. Just like what Treeb said, excited to be a part of this podcast as a regular, and hoping to see it grow, and I think it will. Consistency, Treeb, is the number one thing in this social media game, above all else. But
remember that, everybody watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.